Grenada, Carriacou, PT Martinique. It's a wonderful Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for starting the waking hours of your day with us here at the GBN family. We appreciate it so very, very much. Good morning to the folks joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV, channel 7, 11, and 20. And good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. To the people looking on the Go To Fet and Party Grenada's Facebook page and Party Grenada's website. It's a pleasure to have you joining us as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Bless up your whole selves on this wonderful Wednesday. To all the people tuning in from across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, all the islands from as south as Guyana, far north as Jamaica, all the islands in between, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to you. And all the viewers and listeners across the rest of the world, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Hope everybody is doing great. It almost to the end of February 2021, picking up a pace in truth, but look, with February almost done and all. What? All right, let's do this. Let's start with this morning's word of the day. All right, this morning's word of the day is darg. Darg. It's spelled D-A-R-G. Darg. It's a noun which means a day's work. Darg. If you know that darg means a day's work, you might be able to figure out that it comes from day and work. Darg comes from Middle English word which means a day's work or customary service, a day's fighting, the amount of land that can be plowed by a team in one day. The development of the sound seems to be from the word which means dark or to dark and darg. Darg is the usual form in Scotland and North England. It entered English in the early 15th century. This morning's word of the day is darg, D-A-R-G, a noun which means a day's work. So right now I am darging. I'm making a day's work. An example of the use of the word, I have a long day's darg afore me. Another example of the use of the word, I do not like our slack days. Always feel as if I were not doing my full darg on such, but they give me time for reading and one is glad to secure that. Word of the day this morning, darg, D-A-R-G, a noun which means a day's work. So all of us, most of us, have a day's darg before us, a day work before us. Soon time, same time, mine start already. My darg has started. Yours starts probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Get a little extra time home. I envy you just a little bit. But when you're deep in the work, blossom done. See what going on there? My darg has finished when you are still darging. I like it. All right, that's the word of the day, D-A-R-G, darg. And as you go about your wonderful Wednesday, the thought of today is acknowledge all the ways you are moving on. Acknowledge all the ways you are moving on. if you just reflect on the steps you've taken to move on from a situation, any situation, it could be a work situation, a romantic relationship, situation at home, personally, even with your neighbors, whatever situation, just look at all the ways that you've moved on, the ways that you've moved on for the better, the advancements and developments that you've made in moving on. Just acknowledge it. Give yourself a tap on the back. Whether it's one step or 100, it's a step in moving on. It goes a long way. So bless up yourself. Give yourself credit where credit is due. Self-affirmation and self-praise is never a bad idea. So as you go about your wonderful Wednesday, acknowledge all the ways you are moving on. Let's see what is celebrating today. The only thing that is celebrated today, February 24th, 2021, it is Tortilla Chip Day. Tortilla Chip Day. Tortilla chips were initially an afterthought, a simple snack made with leftover tortillas. But these crispy triangles of deliciousness soon became a sensation, and each February 24th, we celebrate these salty snacks with Tortilla Chip Day. Whether you eat yours plain or you dip them in spicy salsa, tortilla chips bring the fiesta to any occasion. It is Tortilla Chips Day. I don't want to tell all they eat the tortilla chips, but you know what? Let's celebrate. If you feel like you want to celebrate tortilla chips, we have them in little packages. Does not have to be nachos or salsa. Whatever way that you want to indulge today on Tortilla Chip Day, feel free. Blossom giving you permission. Blossom go participate as well. I tell all you, make the sacrifices on all your behalf. Yes, it's Tortilla Chip Day. Oh, great loss. All right. Any opportunity I get to break the diet inside, all you realize. By the time I'm done, I don't have no diet again. All right, let's do this. Right, so let's see. Information time. Today, it is February 24th, 2021, which means it is the first of two semi-finals in the West Indies Super 50 cricket tournament. We've been broadcasting the entire competition live here on Classic 105, and today's is the first semi-final of the tournament. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, who finished top of the table during the round-robin stage of the tournament, they come up against the team that finished fourth on the table, which is the Jamaica Scorpions. So in the first semi-final, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force face off against the Jamaica Scorpions. That game is scheduled to bowl off at 1:30 p.m. and like I said, we will be carrying it live on Classic 105.5, 105.9. So tune into that match, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force versus the Jamaica Scorpions. The second semi-final is scheduled for tomorrow, please the Lord, and that's where we will see our Grenadian boys in action when the Windward Island Volcanoes come up against Guyana Jaguars. That's for tomorrow's semi-final game. But for today, Red Force, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force come up against the Jamaica Scorpions, 1:30 p.m. Classic 105.5, 105.9. With the game being 1:30, that means we do have To The Point program this morning. We are expecting to facilitate the Chief Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Sean Charles, in this morning's To The Point program that is scheduled to start at 9 a.m. So feel free and join in on the discussion from 9, cricket at 1:30 p.m. Now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. This is Good Morning Grenada, Classic GBN Hot 98. Stick and stay. We're coming back in a short.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Is it right for an employee to be sent home by their employer if they refuse to take the COVID-19 vaccine? That's one of the questions put to Minister for Health Nicholas Steele at government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday. You'll hear his answer in this Rena Peer report.
some persons are concerned that their decision to take the COVID-19 vaccine, AstraZeneca, may boil down to job security. Government makes it clear that it is not mandatory. However, some employees are claiming on social media that employers are forcing them to take the vaccine. Minister for Health Nicholas Steele was asked about this during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing.
If there is a legitimate concern by any employee of any type of abuse by their employer, that they should approach the Ministry of Labor and speak to the Labor Commissioner, and if they are in a unionized institution, that they should approach their shop steward or their union representative for them to check on the credibility, validity, etc. of any of these accusations. I also want to say on the other side that employers have an obligation to ensure that all possible protective measures are made available to their employees throughout this pandemic and specific to this pandemic. That started with the ensuring that their employees had the necessary protection, the necessary PPEs, whether it was gloves, masks, sanitizing centers, etc., and monitoring for their employees. And now I would think that most employers would be proactive and be facilitating their employees getting the vaccine. So an employer trying to convince, discuss with an employee the need for them, the necessity for them to take all possible precautions, which at this point in time would also include the vaccination, is possibly what we are seeing and possibly what we are hearing. And we need to be careful and make sure that it is not misconstrued to be anything else than that. An employee has an obligation to ensure that all of their employees take all the necessary protective measures. So they need to be as convincing as possible to their employees.
President of the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andrew Lewis, told GBN that if the workers' claims are true, employers should rethink this drastic move. He suggests that a discussion should be held between the union, government and employers to educate workers and pave the way forward.
What I will encourage is for there to be continuous discussion between the employers, the labor movement and the government on this matter. So that we can make informed decisions and encourage our people. I can tell you that the Caribbean Congress of Labour has requested of the international labour organizations to help us put together some responses on these matters. And therefore, measures must be put in place in an organized way to be able to combat COVID-19.
While frontline workers get their jobs this week, government expects to receive additional supplies of the AstraZeneca vaccine throughout the year. The health minister says this will come at a cost to government, but there has not been no discussion about charging members of the public for same. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
As Grenada's vaccination rollout continues, many have questioned the safety of the AstraZeneca vaccine after images of headlines circulated among the population. During Monday's Beyond the Headlines, Minister for Health Nicholas Steele and Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles addressed the public's concerns.
The COVID-19 pandemic has affected every country on the globe. As a result, while looking to gain information on the vaccine chosen by the government of Grenada, the AstraZeneca vaccine, many Grenadians have looked to other countries to gauge the vaccination experiences of others. Headlines which address the AstraZeneca vaccine's ban in Switzerland and its suspension in South Africa have been circulating on various media platforms and have caused some concern among the population about the effectiveness and the safety of the AstraZeneca jab. On Monday nights beyond the headlines, the issue was brought up to the Minister of Health, Nicholas Steele, who said persons concerned need to read the articles thoroughly, as the headlines alone are misleading.
What you have is countries saying that they are not using it. They are opting to not use it. Not that it should not or cannot or will not be used. And that is the countries that are doing so are countries that have choices of vaccines. When the AstraZeneca came onto the market, it did not have that amount of information for individuals 65 and over. So they have opted and said simply, we are going to be using this vaccine that we have all the information on.
Minister Steele said approval varies from country to country based on a wide range of factors.
Grenada has not approved Moderna, Pfizer, Sputnik, or Sinopharm, but that does not mean that we've banned it. We have not approved Sputnik, the Carriacou region, or Sinopharm because we don't have the information that we require, which is approval from WHO or Pan American Health. But that's not a ban. That is just saying that we're not going to use it until we get a certain level of information from wherever we choose to get that level of information.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles also gave his inputs, stating that the AstraZeneca vaccine has been authorized by a multitude of trustworthy organizations.
Considering that the AstraZeneca vaccine was granted authorization by the European Medicines Agency, it was granted authorization by the UK medicines regulators, it was granted authorization by the Australian medicines regulation, and it is one of 2 vaccines that have been granted emergency medical listing by WHO, one of 2 in the world. So one country that makes a questionable decision does not speak to the quality or the safety or really the efficacy of a vaccine.
The vaccination rollout continues this week with essential workers such as police officers, airport personnel and garbage collectors receiving the jab. Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
Speaking of jab, Grenadians eager for Carnival are being told that any conversation surrounding the resumption of the country's festivities must start after a significant number of the population is vaccinated for COVID-19. As previously stated by Health Minister Nicholas Steele, the answer to all our questions is simple: the COVID-19 vaccine. Here's Rena Pear again with this one.
Health Minister Nicholas Steele says most of Grenada's populace must be vaccinated before government commences dialogue on the hosting of carnival activities. This was one of the reasons for the minister's encouragement to locals to take the AstraZeneca jab.
Once we can accelerate the process of vaccinating, we can then begin to have, and I look forward to that, to coming here and we're discussing what we're doing and the big fireworks, etc. for Christmas, New Year's, or Carnival, or we're going to have a September Carnival because we have vaccinated the majority of our population. All of those things are possible if we work together and get vaccinated.
The health minister emphasizes the need for mass vaccination so that the country could continue to a state of normalcy.
All of the concerns that have been raised here today, outside of the direct questions on vaccination, in terms of schools back to normalcy, in terms of quarantine, in terms of curfew, in terms of size of gathering, on each and every one of those questions and concerns, the true answer is vaccination. How long will we have to keep a curfew and a risk until we have enough citizens vaccinated? How long will we have to keep quarantine policies until we have enough people vaccinated? How long before our kids can go back to school normal until we have enough people vaccinated? How long do we have to keep wearing the mask once we're in public areas, or keep the 6-foot distancing if we are anywhere not wearing the mask? Until we have enough people vaccinated.
Up to yesterday, close to 700 people were vaccinated.
Actually, right now, there's a team up at Princess Alice as well, administering vaccinations in St. Andrews. That will continue throughout the week in terms of 2 teams on mainland Grenada. I do expect them also to be going to St. Patrick's within this week as well. And there is a team going up to Carriacou tomorrow to spend the next couple of days at least in Carriacou to administer in the same order, first to frontline healthcare workers, then to frontline hospitality workers, and we will use this opportunity as well to offer to as many people in Carriacou as would be willing to take the vaccine.
Radisson Hotel has served as the central point for frontline workers thus far, and other vaccination stations are being set up.
Monday morning, the vaccinations were offered to frontline hospitality workers, and there has been significant uptake from them. I just left the Radisson site before coming here, and we have already administered over 100 vaccines for the morning. The lines are there, the individuals are there, everything is moving smoothly, and we would expect to have similar, if not optimistically more uptake today with respect to vaccinations.
According to health officials, Grenada has not recorded any new COVID-19 case since January 21st. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
How has the COVID-19 pandemic affected students' grades, or has it affected performance at all? Chrislina John takes a look at the performance of students almost 1 year since Grenada was impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
It is no secret that students' learning, performance, and in turn their grades have been impacted since the COVID-19 pandemic. Schools immediately went on lockdown in early March, days before the country recorded its first COVID-19 case on March 22nd last year. However, that was for a 2-week period in the first instance. In the months following, which included the new school year, September last, students attended the institutions of learning in a staggered or phased manner. This posed many challenges as both teachers and students had to adapt to a new way of learning using their e-learning devices. The constant battle of availability/unavailability of internet service in some households, or one device to be used by multiple people in one household, were among some of the challenges for all parties. Speaking from a principal standpoint, Marvin Andel, principal of the Florida Government School, says the current situation in education as it relates to students' attendance at schools can have a negative effect on their performance.
I am of the view that it is necessary for all involved, including ministry officials, principals, teachers, to decide on how the learning gap, which will be created or is being created, will be bridged. We must bridge that learning gap. And a discourse on how we go forward in this regard should be undertaken sooner rather than later.
Our news desk reached out to the Chief Education Officer, Ms. Angela Finley, in the Ministry of Education to get their perspective on students' grades and their findings almost 1 year later. However, we were told that she was out of office and won't be back for the day. Calls to the Minister for Education as well as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry went unanswered. Chrislina John, GBN News.
You may walk along the beach and stumble upon a beautiful blue or purple iridescent looking creature resembling a balloon. However, beware, because this pretty looking creature may actually be the Portuguese man of war.
Though the Portuguese man-o-war has a very beautiful exterior, it is a creature that should be regarded with the utmost caution. To the common man, not much may be known about the creature, which is most of the time considered a jellyfish. Veterinarian Dr. Kenrith Carter says, contrary to popular belief, the Portuguese man-o-war is not a jellyfish, neither is it one single animal.
It's not really, people think it's a jellyfish and it has venomous things like a jellyfish, but it's not a single animal. It's like a group of creatures living together in this functional system. It's a very pretty thing. It looks sort of purplish red. It looks sort of purplish red on the surface. Now it looks like a ball of air or a bag of air, because the top section of it would be an air sac. So if it's underwater, you would see this floating towards you. And the interesting thing is how it got the name man-o-war is because it resembled that old Portuguese man-o-war ship. And how it gets around is that it floats. It can adjust the air sac on the top. It can be taken anywhere by the current or the wind. So you will see this nice looking thing and normally wash up on the beaches this time of year in Grenada. And you see it on the beach. Now, the most important thing to know is that the nice air sac is not the dangerous part, but the tentacles.
Dr. Carter explains why the creatures are so dominant at this time of year, adding that their presence is not a bad thing, as it indicates incoming leatherback turtles.
Yes, they come with the currents and the wind. You've noticed how windy it's been on the East Coast as well. Good thing is, though, that Portuguese man-o-war, they have only a few predators. But one of the predators are leatherback turtles, and we're approaching our seasonal leatherback turtle nesting season. So the leatherback would probably come in and after the man-o-wars. So when you see man-o-wars, the turtle people get excited because the turtles are on their way.
In the event that someone gets stung by a Portuguese man-o-war, Carter provided some tips on what measures should be taken.
It will be dependent on your level of allergies. You know, there are some people that are super allergic, but they always have EpiPens and all those antihistamines with them. You should probably get one of those on board. Contact a medical physician, like a doctor. You could put warm water on the sting, get out of the water for sure.
There have been recent sightings of these creatures washed up on beaches. It is important to note that they are most likely already dead if washed ashore. However, the tentacles can still sting despite the animal being dead, and so it should still be considered dangerous. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Very interesting. Moving on to a celebration, another Grenadian has been inducted into the 100-year-old club. Anastasia English from St. Patrick celebrated her milestone on Sunday, surrounded by friends and family. Chalana Charles has the details.
Anastasia English of Plain St. Patrick joined the island's list of centurions on Sunday. Surrounded by family, friends and members of her church, she celebrated at her home. Born on February 21st, 1921, she is the mother of one and has one grandchild and 3 great-grandchildren. Miss English has worked hard all her life as a domestic worker and in agriculture. To this day, if she isn't stopped, she still makes the attempt to go to her garden to work. Miss English received an outpouring of love on her special day. She was visited by the parish priest, Father Paul, who gave her communion, and the parliamentary representative, Pamela Moses, who presented her with a few items to commemorate her achievement. Miss English is a faithful member of her church, where she is a member of the St. Vincent de Paul and the church's prayer group. She says the first and last thing she does every day is pray. And as she celebrates 100 years of life, she couldn't be happier.
Very happy to see our friends and good company, doctor and priest come to in my birthday. I get a big surprise. I'm happy, feeling happy. Thank Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus.
The key to a long life, she said, is eating healthy and putting God first in everything you do.
But I like dumpling. More vegetables, plantain and fish. That is really my meal. That is what I like. I will pray and thanking Jesus for the long life He had given it to me. long life. He had given it to me.
Friends and family describe her as an encouraging individual who will always say a prayer for those who cross her path. According to Miss English, she has 100 years down and 100 more to go.
I want to live on next 100.
Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
That's just absolutely amazing. And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelawna Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. The man charged with arson for the fire that destroyed a dwelling house in Hermitage St. Patrick last Friday made his first court appearance on Monday at the Grenville Magistrates Court. He was granted bail in the amount of $15,000. According to the police, the incident stemmed from a domestic dispute. GBN's online audience shared their thoughts on the situation. Keith commented, "This is heart-wrenching." Stevenson shared his thoughts. He said, "The bail is too small. Compared to the total cost of the house, let him rebuild and furnish the house. This is premeditated." Stephen added, "It is very unfair if two persons put together and build a home and at one point in time a dispute occurred. Justice must be done equally once all of the facts are collected together. He is wrong to arson if proven guilty." Kenisha responded to some of the other comments. She said, "Wow, how busy we are to bash the woman. They were in a relationship and jointly built the house. How do we know why she wanted him to leave? Maybe he was doing her wrong. Why is the woman always blamed? He could have demanded repayment and taken her to court if she refused." And Gerard commented, "It's sad to be honest, but this should be a wake-up call for couples. Don't invest together if they cannot afford to lose it. Walking away is the best approach and seek redress through the justice system. Taking matters into your own hands is not worth the stress that comes with the act itself." That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
Now we move from the thought process to the visual impact. Let's take a peek through the GBN EyeSaw lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN EyeSaw is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
In tonight's EyeSaw, we feature some international photographs of Ghanaian students in their pure African school uniforms. According to several articles, Ghana has taken a bold step in its push to further decolonize by introducing the African uniforms. Ghanaians have been able to go above and beyond in restoring African pride in the traditions left behind by colonizers. Uniforms there can be dated as far back as 1522 in the United Kingdom. Such beautiful patterns and colors. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Have you ever felt the need to give back to your vegetable or flower garden, lawn, potted plants, or planters? The Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority is pleased to introduce the new Home Garden Composter. A neat, efficient, quick and easy start to home composting. Get great value from your food scraps, grass, lawn clippings, paper waste and animal manure through home composting. When you do, you will be returning valuable nutrients to the earth rather than discarding at the landfills. Get started with a Home Garden Composter, now available at Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, and let your Home Garden Composter make your gardening dreams come true.
We are all essential in the fight against COVID-19.
At Courts, we're doing our part and we encourage you to stay at home, stay safe and shop online at www.shopcourts.com.
For added convenience, our Courts online customers will receive free delivery and get up to 20% off televisions, appliances and homewares. Plus, if you shop with Ready Finance, you will pay nothing down for 60 days. Now, you can stay home, shop online and save.
Remember, do the essential. Wear a mask, wash your hands, practice social distancing, stop the spread.
Imagine your day without having to wait in line, without having to write at every store, without touching the pen everyone else used, having your info exposed to everyone. Sounds great, huh? Well, it's possible. Here is Teta. With Teta, you download once, register once, and just scan to check in everywhere. No hassle, no forms, no hold up. Simple and easy. Teta lets you explore, discover new places, new products, and new experiences. What are you waiting for? Get Teta for free from your app store today and enjoy contactless convenience.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. Since 1983, they've been serving the country, and we like all their financing, giving the people what they want, what they need, what they love. Come and join the family that's here for you all the way, from birth to graduation, your first job to your home and your car through your golden years.
The GT Credit Union has been actively supporting nation building through its many sponsorships and programs, including Financial Literacy Quiz, Pass the Torch Calypso Program, Junior Cooperatives in Secondary Schools, CPEA, and the TAMCC Grants. The credit union has helped many people make their dreams come true. Let them help you with yours. You don't have to be a teacher to be a member. So what are you waiting for?
GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission is inviting the general public to a national consultation on Thursday, 25th February at the St. Patrick Anglican Primary School in Sortes from 5 to 7 p.m. Discussions will surround the draft Grenada Electricity Sector Grid Code, transmission and distribution. The document can be reviewed online at www.purc.gd. Participants should RSVP by Wednesday by calling 437-1602 or via email to consultation@purc.gd. Spaces are limited. The session will also be carried live on GIS Facebook and GBN's Facebook and YouTube pages. The PERC, protecting your interests. Get involved. Your voice matters.
How going on, boy? Hey, good old things. Hey, easy. Yeah. Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day. Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service. Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy. Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call 440-1015 or 440-1016 or check out their website hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
We understand it can be hard getting from the bus terminal to the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium just to get your fresh fruits and veggies. But guess what? Your troubles are over. Enjoy a free bus shuttle from the bus terminal to the temporary market at the Carriacou James Stadium
every Friday and Saturday until the end of March.
Let us buy local, eat local, and support our local market vendors.
Friendly faces, sweet exotic fruits, fresh veggies, local spices. Just what you find when exploring our bustling Grenadian markets on Fridays and Saturdays. That is why GBN, Maggie, and Just Cool Media have teamed up with the Ministry of Works to bring you Maggie Market Vibes. Meet the people that feed us, clothe us, and keep the economy going. Plus, get your Maggie seasonings and other products weekly at the best prices. Maggie Market Vibes, live from markets across the island. Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. on GBN television and social media platforms. Maggie Market Vibes. Your Saturdays are about to be turned up.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel. Available only at Rubis stations.
Yo, Carlos. We're going up in number 1. Start up the boogie, boogie, boogie. Rev up the boogie, boogie, boogie. Yo, I blind, tell them this. From reaching at the place, we go rev it up with this. We start up the better, rev it up. Start up the better, rev it. Long past them others, long past them dirty. We start up the better, rev it up. Start up the better, rev it. Long past them others. From we reach, we pressing. Gas, 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 gas. Long past them others, long past them dirty haters. Gas, don't come round to get bounced down in a head.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. Matter of fact, good morning Carriacou and P.T. Martinique. Anytime you hear that song, you know we're heading up to the Sister Isles. That song could never get stale at all. Desi X Race the Fête is one of my favorites. It's from 2018, if my memory serves me correctly, and I'm still feeling it. I'm feeling it. Race the Fête. When I hear that, we up the islands. Welcome. Good morning, Carriacou, P.T. Martinique. I have joining me as my virtual guest this morning is President of Carriacou's Historical Society and Museum, Miss Vinishah Cudjoe. Good morning, Miss Cudjoe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
Alexis. I'm doing good.
Oh, good to know. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I am happy to have you this morning because we're going to discuss something that I think really needs some exposure. Carriacou's history, as including the museum. So thank you so much for joining us. So let's start with the basic details of the museum, where it's located, because I only recently learned about its existence. So give me some details before we get into some more nitty-gritty.
Okay, the Carriacou Museum is presently located in Hillsborough. It is housed in an old cotton ginnery, which just closed in 1979. The museum existed since 1976, but in 1989, we occupied that old cotton ginnery. It's located on Patterson Street in Hillsborough.
How long has the museum been an integral part of operations on the Sister Isle?
Well, as you know, Carriacou is known as the cradle of culture, and we are a very prideful people when it comes to our culture and our heritage. So it has been there for, as I said, since 1976, since I was a baby then, and it has been going since then. The present location is its third location. It has been in other little places, and its prominent house has been that old cotton ginnery, which itself is history.
What are some of the historical artifacts we can find in the museum? What would you say is probably the most famous piece in the museum?
Okay, a few years ago, I can't remember the year actually, but an Amerindian well was discovered in the village of Harveyvale. And until recently, when we had to take down our display due to some termite issues, it was one of our prominent displays at the museum. The actual the pottery that was involved in the whole the well, and that garnered a lot of interest, not just for locals, but for visitors. It was a very fascinating thing.
How were you able, and other members of the committee, were you able to get some of these artifacts to include in the museum and put them on display?
Okay, what I do know, I'm fairly new to the organization. I've just been there about 3 years. But what I do know, that a lot of archaeological digs were organized. Archaeologists would come in from the United States and other countries across the world, and we would accompany them on archaeological digs where we would discover artifacts that would then be placed at the museum.
You mentioned a termite issue recently. What have been some of the challenges being faced at the museum over the past years, and ensuring that people are aware of its existence and come into the museum as well?
Okay, the museum in recent times have had a lot of challenges. As I mentioned earlier, we try to involve both locals locals' interests as well as our visitors. As you know, with the introduction of COVID, we have no visitors really, no foreign visitors, I should say, or hardly. Prior to COVID, though, in July 2019, we had a serious termite infestation where we had to treat the entire building and put back in storage all our displays. Just around the time when we were ready to put back out our displays, there came COVID. And there goes the visitors. There goes our little income. We depend on the little income because the museum is a non-profit organization, of course, and we depend on donations, on visitors' fee. We charge a small fee for persons who wish to have a tour. And basically that disappeared because people's priorities changed as well in terms of where they're going to spend their money. They had on cash, finances are scarce, and that affected us and continues to affect us significantly. I should mention, though, that the museum, apart from the artifacts or the displays, we also have a museum shop which sells local craft and literature and so forth. And that still continues. The shop is open. Some displays are on, and we are trying to get as creative as possible to see how we can keep our doors open. Because we have expenses, of course, we have staff, we have our curator, we have our clerical staff and overheads. And it has been difficult, but the pride that we have as a Carriacou people in our heritage, our culture, and keeping it alive, we really, really do not want to come to the stage where we would have to close our doors.
Speak to me about the support that the society has been getting, whether it's from government, members of the public, international bodies who may be able to support what's taking place at the museum.
Okay, as I said, the museum's coffers are sustained by donations, generous donations from friends, members, and a few visitors. We have not had a whole lot of support from government in terms of finance, and unfortunately, but we are hopeful that we are planning on bringing forward a case to government to see how they can assist us through probably the Ministry of Culture to keep our doors open. So in recent times, we've had a few donations from friendly patrons in the diaspora as well as locally, and that has kind of helped us to still be functional, but I'm not sure how long that is going to last.
You mentioned bringing forward a case to government for further assistance. What do you think needs to be included in your, for lack of a better word, argument to ensure that government sees the benefits of the museum and come on board with the initiative? Or bigger, come on board bigger?
Well, the museum, as I said in my opening statement, Carriacou is known, or we boast of being the cradle of culture and all of that, through our showcasing at our Maroon Festival. We have our famous Shakespeare, which is unique to Carriacou during the Carnival Festival. Well, whether there is carnival or not, I recall there was Shakespeare display. And we are hopeful that the government's interest in preserving our culture and heritage, that they will see it as important to make a contribution, whatever it is, whether it's financial, cash or kind, in ensuring that we continue to function and that we continue to protect that which we say is so dear to us.
The items within the walls of the museum and maybe even outside of the museum that you may be not able to bring into the walls of the museum, what are some of the things you're hoping to add to your list of displays?
Okay, the thing about it is with the museum, we have a lot of stuff. We have stuff that has not even been displayed as yet. And one of our dream, and I know it was one of the burning desire of our former president, may he rest in peace, Mr. Stephen Alexander, was to bring our museum to a modern state-of-the-art facility where we would do our display in this attractive way, and that includes the proper shelvings, the proper lightings, whether we're going to be doing audiovisual displays and stuff like that. So we really want to modernize the museum, because as it stands right now, the displays are sitting there, from time to time. Our curator tries to change things around and create some interest. One of the things we normally do, like they would highlight a particular display based, Carriacou has, prior to COVID, of course, 4 major festivals. So we would highlight particular aspects of those festivals as our main display for that period. So during Maroon, you would find displays that pertains to big drum, to string music, to the Saraka and things like that. During Carnival, we'd see costumes, we'd see Shakespeare. During Regatta, we'd see the whole history of boat building and all of that. Because, we are just rich. We have so much to offer. We have so much to save. And we have so much to sell, to sell in terms of edifying people.
How can residents help with the mission of the society? And I'm not just talking residents on the Sister Isles, I'm talking us here on the mainland as well. How can we assist?
Okay, as I said, presently we are looking at restoration of the facility, and point blank, we are looking for financial donations. Because without that, we can't move. I mean, we make attempts, of course, at raising our own small funds. We do little fundraisers like breakfast sales and other little talk shop sales and stuff like that. But we are imploring our people that whatever little you may have to contribute, we will appreciate it. We are also encouraging our citizens to become members of the organization. There are different categories of membership, as low as $10 for students, as an per year. That's a per year membership, as well as for adults, we have as low as $25 per year. That's a little contribution. I mean, I know funds are not so much these days, but $25, and we accept any little donation we can get. Any donation, any support, and we are also encouraging persons to visit and be edified, be educated as to our culture and history, and it's just a small fee of $10.
How can we donate? Do we have to physically bring it into the museum? Do you have another way that we can, well, for those of us on the mainland especially, how we can contribute with that plan?
Okay, contributions can be made to our account at the Grenada Cooperative Bank. That account number is 521-003625. And it's the Carriacou Historical Society.
Repeat it again. Account. Repeat the number again.
The Carriacou 521-003625.
Okay.
We can also be MoneyGram, the Western Union. You can drop in. But we want to encourage people as much as possible to visit. We know there's not much tourists per se, but we can be tourists in our own island, and we are encouraging locals to visit and to be a part of.
In your hopes of further developing the museum, is there one piece that's missing from the display that you want to see?
I think our passion basically is to see a modernized setup, right? It has been kind of stagnant a little bit, a more modernized, attractive setup. We are looking at a lot of different designs from museums across the world. And at some point, we will come up with something that we can afford, of course, and that is suitable to what we possess. So I think we're just looking at a little modernization. As much as we're talking about artifacts, and history and heritage and all of that, we have to also understand and accept that we need a little modernization to create attraction, because the things are artifacts, but we are not just targeting older people, we are targeting every sector, both old, young, middle-aged. So we want it to be as attractive and interactive as possible. So I think that is one of our main goals, is to get the museum looking really good and attractive, so that the smallest child or the oldest person would want to come there to receive a tour from our curator. She's been there over 40 years. She's been always with the museum. And she is so full of knowledge and passion for what she does. And it is an exciting experience to just get a tour.
What are some of the things I would learn if I were to take a tour of the Carriacou Museum?
Okay. Some of the things that you would learn is about our African or Amerindian heritage in particular. We have a long history of not just African and Amerindian or European. We went through several eras over time, and the museum has displays that will feature those three aspects. And you would learn a lot from a lot of your history, a lot of your heritage and stuff like that.
You mentioned the well that you recently discovered a few years ago, but what are some of the other attractions at the museum that I can look forward to when I visit?
Okay, there are displays from, there is a demigod that is something that was discovered here, and it was found to be authentic. A few years ago, we had a visit from some people from Sierra Leone, and they were amazed to see that we had a demigod displayed at our museum. It is one of our center, and it is in really, really good condition, and it is something that may interest you or may fascinate you. We also have, as I said again, displayed a lot of our cultural practices, which showcasing things like our big drum, our Shakespeare again, our music. We have some headstones, of persons that would have passed on, like slave masters and estate owners and things like that. We have, from the Amerindian, we have a canoe there, an actual canoe that's on display from one of the Amerindian groups. And there is so much. As I said, the building itself is an artifact in that it was an old cotton ginnery, and we have some equipment that would be fitted there as well.
Is Petit Martinique featured at the museum? While we may group Carriacou and Petit Martinique, how is Petit Martinique displayed at the museum? While we may group Carriacou and Petit Martinique together, I believe there are two islands. One state is true, but it's two different islands.
Yeah.
How is Petit Martinique involved or included?
It is considered, Petit Martinique Carriacou is considered one parish. I mean, it says Carriacou Historical Society. There are some things, as with every other parish, there are things that are similar. There are practices that are similar, but we all have our differences. I know Petit Martinique has a small museum as well, which would display things that are specific for them, for Petit Martinique. But similar thing, we have a lot of similarities in terms of our cultural practices, our big drum dance, our same maroon Saraka style activities, and those displays will cover both islands. However, each parish is unique, and maybe future we can feature more of Petit Martinique. That's a good idea. That's a good thought, that we can feature more of Petit Martinique. I know at our museum shops we have literature from Petit Martinique people, Petit Martinique authors, and which speaks a lot about their history and their culture. And it would be interesting to visit our shops to purchase those literature so we can learn more about the islands.
I agree with that. Let's say I'm still not convinced I should visit the museum. How can you encourage us, not just Carriacouians, PT Martinicans, everybody, Grenadians, even visitors? How can you encourage us? What can you say to encourage us to visit the museum? Convince me to visit.
Okay, what I say to our people is that we have to not just talk the talk, we have to act it, we have to walk it. And we are these people who like to speak about we are culturally oriented, and we are proud of our heritage and all of that. And I think when we speak, we must have facts. When we speak, we must be full of information that we can share with others to convince others. And the only way to do that is to edify ourselves with those information, as well as to go to the museum and have that experience, just as we partake in our festivals and we have the experience and we can tell our friends and our family and other people out in the diaspora and the other parishes, they must come to Carnival, come to Regatta, it's this, that. I think we need to be a part of what we boast of, not just in word, but in action.
I agree. Well said. Thank you so much, Ms. Cudjoe. Any final thoughts as we close?
I just want to also add that as part of raising funds, we have a small conference room as well as the library at the museum, and we encourage persons that they can also access those facilities. It's not state of the art, but it's available, a small meeting room, as well as a library that persons can access for their meetings, for their research, and so forth. As well, I want to encourage our people to play a bigger role in what you say you love, to be actors in this and not just talkers. And we are looking forward to continued support, because we really, really, really do not want to close the doors that has been open since 1976. We do not want to do that. We do not want to be forced to do that. So we are clamoring for support, both financial, if we have persons who feel that they can even volunteer to come in, once a week, twice a week, to help us keep our doors open, we welcome it. So it's not just finance, it's kind as well.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cudjoe, for shedding some light and shedding the concerns and challenges of the museum. Hopefully, people would hear and show their support to keeping the museum open. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, I want to thank you very much, Brenda, for having us. And I hope that we can chat again some other time. And we hope to see you at the Carriacou Museum very, very, very soon.
Next time I visit, I'll be sure to pass
Thank you very
up.
much.
Have yourself a good day.
Make sure.
Of course.
You too. Thank you.
All right. We want to thank Ms. Cudjoe for passing through. That was the president of the Carriacou Historical Society and Museum, Vinishah Cudjoe. If you are on the Sister Isle, you're visiting anytime soon, be sure to pass by the museum and show your support. Ensure that we can keep this building open, keep the doors open, and continue to keep Carriacou's history on display. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we link up with Just School Media for this morning's Traffic Cam. This is Good Morning Grenada.
Gas, long past them others, long past them dirty haters. Gas, long past them others, long past them dirty haters.
Friendly faces, sweet exotic fruits, fresh veggies, local spices. Just what you find when exploring our bustling Grenadian markets on Fridays and Saturdays. That is why GBN, Maggie, and Just School Media have teamed up with the Ministry of Works to bring you Maggie Market Vibes. Meet the people that feed us, clothe us, and keep the economy going. Plus, get your Maggie seasonings and other products weekly at the best prices. Maggie Market Vibes, live from markets across the island, Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. on GBN television and social media platforms. Maggie Market Vibes. Your Saturdays are about to be turned up. GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
It's now time to join up Just Cool Media for this morning's traffic cam, which started on the area known as the Cliff. Let's see where he's taking us this morning. Traffic cam.
Onto the intersection right on the Cliff. That intersection that has the road from Monjaloo, from Calivini, from Woban to get down into the woodlands of the Cross Road. So we see a lot of traffic this morning coming down on the Calivini main road. So good morning to one and all, wherever you're tuning in from. This is Just Cool Media, your Wednesday morning traffic cam. We are on the Cliff this morning. So there's a lot of traffic on the Calivini main road going into St. George's or going into Woban or Woodland. There's a lot of traffic. Welcome folks to all the viewers of GBN TV, GBN Radio, listeners of GBN Radio. We are on the Cliff this morning, that intersection that intersects Monjaloo, Calivini, Woban to go down into Vicky Crossroad. Morning. Folks, so it's good, you know, very cautious on the road this morning, keep things flowing smoothly. Bus men avoid stopping to interrupt the traffic, stop on the side so traffic can easily pass your way. And we see the wind is very high this morning. We had some very high winds this morning as well. Right here, a lot of traffic this morning coming from Calivini, and then we have traffic coming from Woodlands. So we're on the Cliff, folks. This is your Wednesday morning traffic cam. We are at the intersection from Woban. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, folks. Good morning. This is your Wednesday morning traffic cam. We're on the Cliff this morning, folks. That busy intersection that intersects Monjaloo, Woban, Calivini. Very busy intersection this morning, folks. And there's a lot of traffic coming from the Calivini main road, folks. So you should expect some traffic delay coming in from the Calavini Main Road. So at this intersection, drivers have to exercise caution. Also pedestrians have to exercise caution because it's a busy intersection. To cross this time could be a dangerous thing. So both drivers and pedestrians have to be very cautious, be alert at this intersection, folks, as we are on the Calavini, the cliff intersection between Woburn, Manjalo and Calavini. On this here Wednesday morning traffic cam. We have good drivers in Grenada. We are responsible drivers, folks. So drivers, you always have to be on the alert at this busy intersection. Always be on the alert at this a very busy intersection. This is your Wednesday morning traffic cam, Just School Media in collaboration with GBN. The intersection, that intersection from Manjalo, a lot of vehicles on the Calavini Main Road trying to get into St. George's. A lot of vehicles on the Calavini Main Road this morning. Coming out of Calavini, St. David's, folks, expect some traffic delay as you head to the cliff. See, folks, a lot of traffic, but it's moving smoothly at the moment. And this is a busy intersection, folks. We're right here on the cliff. That intersection that intersects Manjalo, Calavini, Woburn to get into St. George's. So drivers have to exercise caution at this intersection because you could have vehicles trying to turn in, or you could have pedestrians trying to cross. So motorists are advised to exercise caution on this morning. Folks, so this is your Wednesday morning traffic cam, folks. Wednesday morning traffic cam. Traffic light, Peter, not necessary, Peter. We are custom driving this road, Peter. We just have to drive with caution. Just all that has to be done is drivers have to exercise caution at this intersection. A traffic light at this intersection will just add to more congestion. So drivers just had to exercise caution on the cliff, that busy intersection in the morning. Always looking out for each other as they drive on the road. Always looking out for each other as they drive on the road. So this intersection is just exercise patience and caution. It's a busy intersection, but it just calls for drivers always to be alert and to be cautious as they approach this intersection. Also, pedestrians has to be careful as well in crossing because vehicles coming from 4 directions into this intersection, folks. Vehicles coming from 4 directions. We have 4 roads meeting up into this intersection. So just that vehicles have to be very cautious this morning. Folks, those of you just joined, we are on the cliff. This is the Wednesday morning traffic cam. We are at that intersection with Manjalo, Calavini, Woburn, and Woodlands. That busy intersection on a Wednesday morning. Yes. So an advice to motorists, always to be cautious on this intersection, folks. To be patient. Always, you see, so many vehicles coming from 4 different directions. 5 roads, sorry, not 4, 5. We have 5. This intersection intersects 5 roads, folks. Yeah, all we need is just some signage, some proper signage on the road for visitors. Flow of traffic. When you look at it, you will see.
I want to say thank you so much to Just Cool Media for this morning's traffic cam. The intersection, I can't even say between 2 roads, among 5 intersection among intersects at. The intersection at, that's it, the intersection at 5 roads. It is a busy intersection, so please be careful to all our drivers. Those of you coming through Calivini, the Munjaloo area, Woodlands, Woburn area, coming from the Woodlands roundabout where the tires are, whichever direction you're coming from, just please be careful. It's a busy intersection. It's rush hour. It is 4 minutes onto the hour of 8 o'clock, so everybody is trying to get to and from the city of St. George's, Grandance area. Just please be careful. Please be mindful. If you're still in the Calivini area, expect some traffic delays as the traffic builds up. It appears to be flowing smoothly from what I'm seeing, but you never know what can happen when one person decides they stop in to pick up somebody, or they just waiting for somebody to give them a $5 through the window. You know how we just get on in the middle of the road. And wrong and strong in the dance, but don't worry about it. So far, it is flowing, but it's a lot of vehicles flowing through the intersection. So keep that in mind, those of you coming down from Calivini, Woodlands, Woburn, Munjaloo areas. Every Monday and Wednesday, Traffic Cam 7:45, a collaboration between GBN and Just Cool Media. At this point, we are going to prepare for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. It is now time for us to prepare for that. Have yourselves a safe and productive Wednesday. Want to say thanks again to Miss Cudjoe for stopping by, and those of you on the sister aisle, feel free to stop by the museum. COVID-19 protocols in effect, but the doors are open and they're ready to welcome you. Have yourselves a good day, everybody. Please be safe. Be COVID-19 smart, love yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.